So a warm hello from IMC in Redwood City, and appreciate how far spread and how close in this YouTube community is, and that we've gathered together here. And I like to think of it as in a wide circle, sitting together to meditate. Thank you. For me, one of the surprising aspects of Buddhist meditation was how much it involved the body, and so much that I think sometimes that mindfulness, the word sati, translated into English as mindfulness, maybe should have been translated as bodyfulness, because it plays such a central role in attention, awareness, sensing, feeling. And but one of the surprising things is how much the focus is not on the corporal body, not the body that will be left when you're a corpse, but rather the animate body, the body that is animated with certainly with life, but more than that, it's animated also with the functioning of the mind. And this body-mind thing in Buddhism are not so separate. Sometimes we consider them to be kind of working together inseparably. And so much of the way in which we experience our body is mediated with how the state, the quality, the activities of the mind. And that as we dip deeper into the body, there's a reciprocal relationship between the body and the mind and the body. And so as the mind changes, so does our experience of the body, the animate body, the experience body. The way that we experience the body is not the same thing as the corporal body. Experience is mediated partly through our perceptions, our orientations, our states of mind we have. And it's remarkable how the body shifts and changes as we become more embodied, more present. And the mind becomes more healthy, more settled, more at ease. And anyway, so this was a huge surprise for me in my practice. And I'm hoping that for many of you it is or has been or will be a similar kind of delight and surprise and of a profound nature to appreciate the body in a deep way. The experienced body, the animate body. So one of the ways that this reciprocal relationship works between the mind and the body is that when the body is relaxed, it has a huge impact on the mind. The more tense the body, the more it supports the tension in the mind. The more relaxed the body is, the more it supports the mental tension to soften and relax. So today the focus will be relaxing the body. So taking a posture, being careful with your posture. Kind of align, adjust your posture so that it's most balanced and open, and if you're sitting upright, most upright. So that when it relaxes, the body doesn't collapse or slump. So that when it relaxes, it kind of is relaxing into a support and aliveness. So then begin by lowering your gaze and relaxing your eyes, and gently closing your eyes. And when I take deep breaths at the beginning of the meditation, I imagine that The movement of the inhale begins deep inside and expands outward like a big massage, stretching, moving, expanding the torso, chest. So taking a deep, deep breath. And as you exhale, relaxing into the body. Deep, deep breathing and then relax. And letting your breathing return to normal. And on the exhale, progressively relax the body from the bottom up. So maybe as you exhale, to soften any tension or holding in your legs, around the knees, the thighs, as you exhale, to relax the whole area around your hips, your hip joints. Where your bottom connects with your cushion, the floor. Relax. On the exhale, relaxing the belly. Letting the belly soften as you exhale. And maybe as it softens, it settles down into the lower torso to create some more stability. A ground, a floor for the upper torso to rest on. And then relaxing the upper torso, the chest, the rib cage back and forward and behind. And then the exhale, relaxing the shoulders. Allowing the shoulders to give in to the gentle pull of gravity. And relaxing the arms, the hands, the fingers. And relaxing the muscles of the face, softening around the mouth, sometimes helped by gently, very slightly opening your lips, the middle of the lips apart a little bit. At least so the lips aren't pressing against each other. Softening the jaws. And softening around the eyes. letting the eyes rest in the sockets. And if it's more restful, even with your eyes closed, let any gaze looking that the eyes are trying to do be a gentle looking backwards down into the body. So the eyes aren't reaching out. And softening the forehead. And then if there's any tension or pressure in the mind, in the brain area, or anywhere else you associate with the mind, let the mind relax, soften. And then through the soft attention, settle your awareness on your breathing. Feeling the inhales and the exhales. And on the inhale, feel your body in whatever way it shows itself. And on the exhale, relax your body in whatever places there can be release. Breathing in, breathing out. Feeling the body, relaxing the body. And as we approach the end of this sitting, perhaps now you can do another round of relaxation of the body as you exhale to relax deep at the core, of the body, the way that you might be held in check or closed or held back. Just for the last minutes to relax that. To relax again around the face, and deep in the mind. And as we come to the end of this sitting, to bring to mind a saying that in times of crisis, one person who stays calm can keep everyone calm. I don't know if it's always true, but it's a wonderful principle. And may it be that as we go out into the world today, the next 24 hours, that maybe our gift is to keep our body relaxed, a calm body, a calm presence. People carry so much tension, chronic tension, and some of that tension is a response to being around other tense people. If we can turn that around and find a way to be relaxed, and let that be the gift, so other people can relax, can feel at ease, can let go of some of their tension and anxiety. You might see what ways being relaxed in body is beneficial for the people around you. Being relaxed, maybe it's easier to have our heart's concern be the welfare and happiness of others. May it be that we live this day caring for others so they can be happier, safer, more peaceful, and more free. May all beings everywhere be happy, peaceful, and free. Thank you. So this week, the focus is on that part of the mindfulness instruction that has to do with mindfulness of the body. Of course, the mindfulness of the body practice begins is with mindfulness of breathing. The focus for last week, the breathing is a completely embodied part of our experience, and it kind of begins opening and helping open us to the rest of the body. The simplest instructions for mindfulness that we teach here at IMC is that when to use the breathing as the basis, as the home base for meditation, if as a default, just if you are wondering where to have your attention with your breathing. So just a default, just automatically, you don't think about it. But if something else becomes more compelling, there used to be the teaching when something else becomes predominant, then the idea is two things. You can either let go of the breathing entirely, focusing on it, and bring your full attention to this, if it's in this other thing that's predominant. So for now, it's going to be the body. So if something becomes more predominant in the body, then we practice mindfulness of the body, mindfulness of that place. If and the other option is to stay with the breathing, but in a sense, maybe through the imagination slightly, is to imagine you're breathing through or with the strong sensations in your body. Sooner or later, the body will speak up with strong sensations. For beginners in meditation, taking a meditation posture is quickly uncomfortable. And slowly over time, the body adjusts and stretches and opens and gets stronger so that there's some ease in this yogic posture of meditation. And it's really well worth to work through that time. But you don't need to strain yourself meditating. You don't have to force yourself to stay with discomfort. If some discomfort becomes too strong, then change your posture. You don't have to, if it feels like you're getting stressed by the meditation itself, then don't stay with uncomfortable things. And but there's also this turning towards what's there in the body. And today's kind of topic is relaxation, to relax the body in a deep way. So one early time where I started learning the value of relaxation was when I was a Zen student. And there were times that my knees hurt a lot from sitting. We meditated a lot, and we weren't in Zen. You weren't really supposed to move while you're meditating during meditation. So if you're uncomfortable, you have to kind of bear it. And so I noticed at some point that around the knee pain, there would be subtle micro tensions in the muscles around it, like resistance of maybe kind of. It was an expression of resistance to the pain, and I'd contract around it. But that tightness actually made the pain worse. And if I relaxed those micro tensions, the pain got better, got less. And it was just enough. There was a difference from being overwhelmed to managing fine with it. But I had to be very attentive, because if I didn't pay attention, then the reactivity I had would creep in, kind of unknowingly, and then the muscles would be tight again. So I learned to kind of stay there and feel the sensations there, the tightness, and relax them. I learned also that I had sometimes subtle tension in my fingers, and they were ever so slightly pulled in, and it was an expression of some kind of feeling of like I had to work hard here. I had to engage now in doing this meditation thing. And so I learned to recognize that subtle tension in the fingers and relax it and keep it relaxed. And that had a reciprocal relationship, or a relationship to that attitude. I had to work hard here. And as I relaxed the fingers, that attitude would soften. Unknowingly, the attitude would return, and the fingers would get tense again. And so I learned to do a regular part of the check-in as I meditated was to make sure my fingers were relaxed. And it was something that was relatively easy to do for me. It was a micro relaxation. It wasn't a big deal. It was a micro tension. Same thing with the belly. In the early years of meditation practice, I had a lot of tension in my belly, and my belly was always tightened up and held in. And I didn't make it a big project, but probably 2 or 3 times in the course of meditation, beginning and in the middle and near the end or something, I would relax the belly. And oftentimes in the beginning, it would just tighten right up again. And I didn't make much to do with it. I just kind of periodically relaxed. But over time, over the months of doing this, the belly learned what it was like to be relaxed. And as the belly became more familiar with it and more at home in it, I could feel, it became more of a regular place, easier to be there in a relaxed belly. But also the anxiety that seemed to be the genesis of that stomach tension began to loosen. I began to recognize it. I hadn't recognized it until I started kind of hanging out with the belly and feeling the tension there. So as you do mindfulness of the body, it's helpful to keep an eye out for where the tension is, where the holding patterns are, the tightness, and not to make it a big project or be very ambitious about the relaxation, but it is helpful to relax. So as many of you know, I teach here on these 7 a.m. meditations to relax at the beginning, always to relax at the beginning. But as the meditation goes along, it's useful to kind of check in. Is there some tension there? Any tension crept in? In some of my longest retreats that I where I sat in very deep states of meditation, I developed a practice of, I would sit sometimes for a few hours at a time, and I would pull myself out of the meditation, with my mind. I would still look like I was meditating, but I would kind of pull out of the concentrated state and look around for a few seconds to see had any tension crept in. And if there was, then I would relax that tension. And often the relaxation had to do with something in the upper head that was connected to trying a little bit too hard to be focused, a little bit too hard to concentrate, and there'd be a little contraction there. So I'd relax, and with the relaxation, the consciousness softened. And then I would dip back into the deep place of meditation. I found it so useful to always kind of come out and check. And some people, as they get concentrated, get tension in their face, and come out of the concentrated state, relax the tension, and then see if you can get concentrated without that tension building up. Some people find that in meditation, even if they don't try to do a lot of relaxation actively, that just meditation is relaxing. The genesis of a lot of tension has to do with the tense way we think and the tense things we think about. And as in meditation, that the thinking quiets down, that source of tension begins to lessen and become weaker and weaker. And so some people find just simply staying with the breath, focusing on the breath and letting their attention kind of ride the breath, be with the breath. Then there's not so much attention available to all these thinking that are stress producing. And so just that, then people find themselves relaxing, sometimes progressively, and sometimes they realize after the fact, boy, am I relaxed, without trying. So it's important also not to try too much to relax. There are times when I try to relax my body and I made it a project, and I couldn't quite do it. I could do a little bit, and I'd try some more, do a little bit, and it just kept me busy in meditation. and and then I wouldn't try to relax, and I would just stay focused and be with my breathing and get concentrated on my breathing, and lo and behold, that part of my body relaxed. So we don't always want to do kind of frontal assault on our attention. Sometimes we have to just accept it and allow it to be there, and just do the practice and trust that it'll relax on its own. The and then finally, an interesting thing to do with relaxation of the body, if you feel there's tension somewhere in the body that doesn't want to relax, don't worry about it. But sometimes it's very interesting to relax around it. Relax the attitude towards it. Relax this outer layer of reactivity perhaps around it, like my knee pain. I tighten up around it. So, if the shoulders are very tense or the belly is tense and it can't relax, don't worry about it. But maybe it's possible to relax something a little bit of wider circle in the body. Um, just around it, there might be a softening that can happen. And so today's theme is relaxation. And relaxation is just, I think of it as kind of like the entry level uh, uh, variation, entry level kind of taste of the deep letting go that in Buddhism is called liberation. And it partakes, relaxation shares some of the goodness and some of the qualities of deep relaxation, freedom, liberation that comes. And so we're kind of getting a hang of it and feel for it. The body gets a sense. And it helps prepare the ground for deeper and deeper letting go and relaxation as meditation proceeds. So thank you for today. And you might spend the next 24 hours familiarizing yourself with the tensions in your body, the times and places and ways in which you tighten up. And it might be just fascinating to see how much it goes on. And then, but also, are there simple ways you can relax that? And what happens if you stay and don't allow relaxed or don't allow the tensions to build? How does that affect your day? So, thank you very much.